Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk about the new Cyberpunk 2077 1.2 patch, the issues that came along with it, and the question that I've been pondering is, does anyone even really care anymore? Because, I kind of really don't care anymore, but before we get into that, I'm getting really close to my subscriber goal. As I said before, it's a really modest subscriber goal. It's only 25, but I'm nearly there. I'm at 23 at the time of recording this, so by the end of the video, if you think that I've deserved it, please do consider subscribing because it would really help me out. Leaving thumbs up, leaving comments, it all helps my videos get seen, so I'd be really appreciative of that. But with that out of the way, let's get on to the main point of this video. So, Cyberpunk released back in December of 2020, and it released to a massive thud. It just flopped out like a massive fish and just landed on our floors, and it was arguably one of the biggest letdowns for so many people of an entire generation, if not of all time, quite frankly. I really thought the game was bad. I mean, the game really sucked on older hardware especially, and just much of the promised game was either, broken, glitchy, ran like crap, or was just straight up absent. So I played it on day one, and I ran into many problems, all the common ones and a few weird ones as well. I mean, it crashed like 14 times in 14 hours of play, so, basically one crash an hour. And while it's not the worst thing in the world, there's people starving in other countries and my video game is crashing, oh no, it's still very annoying for a product that you've paid for. And when I got about 3 hours in, I just frankly didn't like the game. I mean, the art direction and what they were going for, you could see that it was really good, and a lot of sort of talent and thought went into building the world up, how everything was placed and what it should look like. But the things you actually do in the game and the actual visual presentation, I'm not talking about, again, the art direction, I'm talking about the actual resolution, the texture work and all that kind of stuff. It was just really poor, dull, and frankly uninteresting. And I'll be completely honest about it. Some people will no doubt disagree with this, and that's fine, but for me, in my oh so unimportant opinion, I thought the game was painfully average as a final product, as a final release for a game. Even if it ran perfectly fine and it had no bugs, no glitches, no crashes, nothing, it would still feel like a hugely overhyped and mediocre open world game, But again, I reiterate, that's how I feel about it, and I'm sure many others do as well, but if you like it, you like it, and I'm not taking that away from you at all. I played mine on the PS5, and I thought that visually, as I said earlier, it was really poor, and again, I'm talking graphical quality, not the artistic directional quality. And I've seen people say things like, yeah, but that's what you get when you play on a PS4 or play the PS4 version on a PS5, and I'm sorry, but they sold a product to me and said that it ran, quote, surprisingly well on old hardware, which was frankly utter bullshit. It was a lie, a complete fabrication by the higher-ups at cdprojektred. It just was not true. It's like buying a brand new car and then finding out that it simply doesn't run. Would you be happy about that? No, of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't be happy about it. It's such a stupid argument, and it frankly pisses me off when people say that. Now, again, I'm not normally one to tout my own views as facts. I don't just say, this is how it is, you're wrong. I'm not that kind of person. But cdprojektred factually sold a shoddy, broken product. And that's the end of the discussion. They did. Whether you believe it or not, it happened. So let's just get that out of the way now. But anyway, sorry for the rant, it just really gets on my nerves. It recently had its 1.2 patch, which was rather large to say the least. It apparently fixes a ton of stuff, which I'm not going to go through now because I've looked at the patch notes and it is long, so I'm not going to go through that. But I've heard mixed reports on it. I've heard mixed reports saying, yeah, some things are in fact fixed, but then some things seem to still be broken that it claims to have fixed, and some people are even seeing new bugs appearing because of the patch, so I don't know. I don't know what to really believe. I haven't tested this myself, obviously, because I no longer own the game, but I've been looking at a lot of different outlets and influencers, YouTubers, just to see what their opinions are. It really just feels like CDPR is trying to sort of patch up a boat full of holes with band-aids. If you see what I mean, there's just tons of little holes and they just can't fix them quick enough, and they're springing the leaks again, and it's just ridiculous. I imagine their offices to just look like the apocalypse. Do you know what like everything's on fire and they're all just running around. That's just how I imagine it at the moment. Now, of course, this patch was delayed, but when it finally released, my very first thought was just, do people even care anymore? And then obviously I very quickly realized, yeah, probably a lot of people do care. But seriously, again, I don't throw out my opinions as facts. That's not what I do. But I just find it so hard to believe that people played the same game as I did and actually enjoyed it. You must understand what that's like for me, seeing other people say, yeah, it's really good. And I'm just thinking, what? It's not though. It's broken. I mean, if you bought it on day one, let's say you got it on a PS4, right, which is probably the worst place to play it. If you played through it and you had basically zero issues, maybe the odd crash, but generally zero issues, then you probably thought it was an okay game, right? I had many issues, many problems. It was awful, it ran badly, it was broken, and it was that way for probably millions of players, and there's just no excuse for it. And as I said, I know a lot of people like it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. If you played it and you liked it, that's fine. I know I have to keep reiterating this because people hear me say I don't like it and they immediately, get defensive, and it's like, if you like it, fine. Look, I will say right now, I'm a massive fan of the Michael Bay Transformers movies. I love them all. I've seen them all like 20 times. I watch them every year. They are my thing, right? I absolutely love them. And people hate those movies, so do with that information what you will. I'm just saying that I didn't have a good time with it. And, to be fair, the whole situation is just really rough all round. With CDPR's stock price fluctuating, it dropped by, I think, 50% at one point, then it went back up a bit, and then it's down again. It's just ridiculous. And there's been some news that they've had to cancel their upcoming Cyberpunk multiplayer standalone thing in light of recent events, and that's a shame as well, because I imagine they could have done something really good with that. However, seeing the state that Cyberpunk actually released in, I think that it would be an absolutely idiotic idea to go through with making the online version, or whatever it was going to be, because if they can't get a single player game right with no online stuff, how in the hell are they going to get an online game to run perfectly? It's just not going to happen. I guess it's just sad to see a company that was held in such high regard, I suppose, fall so far over all this, when it didn't even have to be this way, because 99.5% of the people that work at CDPR are just the people that are behind their desks, making character models, level designing, doing all that stuff, and it's the tiny little percentage of the idiots at the top that pushed this out and made it this way. And I feel really sorry for the people that worked on it and just basically got shit on by the higher-ups. It's just not fair, and I just want to make clear that I'm not putting any of my hatred, really. I'm not really hating, but I'm not putting any of my hatred towards those people. It's the idiots at the top that do this kind of stuff, and they always just go, oh, I don't know why it didn't work. And then you just think, well, because you're a moron. Why didn't you just listen to the fans and just listen to your employees and just get it done? And before release, I wasn't even on the Cyberpunk hype train, really. Not much. I was sort of interested in it, but I wasn't really planning on even buying it until 2 weeks before it actually launched. But me and some friends were talking about it, and I just thought, oh, why not? I'll pick it up. It looks pretty good, so I'm sure it'll be fine. And I just decided to go for it, and then regretted it rather quickly. I've said it on this channel before, but I basically sold my copy on eBay during the first 5 days of release. I did finish it. I did finish the main story, but sadly I just kind of found it hard to care about anything in the game at all. Also, I think I got probably the worst ending, and if you don't want to know what that ending was, in case you've still not played it and don't want to be spoiled, skip ahead. But the ending that I got was the one where V just shoots himself while sitting on a rooftop, and I thought that is the perfect metaphor for playing this game. It really is. Basically how I felt after suffering through that campaign. But as I say, that's the ending I got. But after you get an ending, it drops you back before you go to the tower, is it the apartment building? I can't remember exactly where it was, but you go to a building and then it says, this is the point of no return. it dropped me back there after I got that ending, and the trophy never popped, so I didn't even get the trophy for finishing the story campaign, and I just thought, do you know what, screw this, and I just ejected the game at that point, put it back in the case, made it all nice and just sold it on eBay. I was just like, nah, I'm done with this. And I, for one, will never go back to this game. I can't see myself going back to it anyway. I think it would need to be stripped down and literally rebuilt for me to have any interest in it, but I'm not ignorant to stuff. I know that people still like it, and again, as I've said countless times, it's fine if you like it. I just don't. I just can't see it going the distance, and it's just, as I said before, a real shame. But anyway, all of that is just my opinion, and if you'd like to share yours, please leave a comment down below. Also, as I said earlier, I'm really close to my subscriber goal. Again, it is a modest 25 subscribers, but if you think you can help me out and you think I deserved it, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel, maybe leaving a thumbs up or even a thumbs down if you disagree with me. But with all that said, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.